That's me. I have a fear of holes. Holes with depth, with some kind of depth, creep me out beyond measure. I cannot deal with it. It is so gross to me. It is probably the equivalent of someone who has just seen something with its guts hanging out and they can't stop thinking of that. Well, that's how I am with holes. It's called trypophobia. And apparently, I'm not the only one that has this phobia or OCD. I heard that Kendall Jenner has the exact same phobia that I have. For years, I thought I was the only one that had a fear, an irrational fear of holes. Trypophobia. There's actually a name for it. And the kicker is the name of the phobia has two O's in it that look like holes. My coping mechanism is to avoid holes as much as I can, especially the little tiny holes that are on like the old school telephone receivers, or the holes and indentations that are in a dryer. That creeps me out so badly. Just to think about it really creeps me out. So, if you have any fears or phobias, anything that consumes your mind in an irrational way, let me know in the comment section. If you have trypophobia, let me know. And if you have trypophobia, I hope the images that are on this video won't ruin your day. You might want to avoid them. um, I also wanted to share some other things with you. This vlog would not be complete without something scary, something ghostly. Well, I've got a couple of EVPs I'd like to share with you. And maybe another scary story. But my scary story is those holes, those tiny holes that give me goosebumps, that make me sweat, that make me think crazy. So, I went for a walk. That didn't work. I'm still thinking about the holes. But I think I can think about something else and eventually forget about the holes. We'll see. But I'd like to share a story with you. And it doesn't involve holes. I'll tell you another ghost story. This is a real story. Probably about 10 years ago, I was working as a nurse on the night shift in this long-term care facility. There were two CNAs and myself, and everyone else in the facility were patients. This particular day, they were doing some sort of construction work earlier that day. They were doing construction work on one hall, and so they had moved some of the residents to another hall. And we were very mindful that some of them would forget to go to their new rooms and would wander over to the other side. So we were very watchful of that possibility. And as I mentioned, this was the night shift, the overnight shift, like 10 at night till 6 in the morning. And I'd say about 3 o'clock in the morning, everything was calm, everything was cool. Residents that took medicine had gotten their meds, and a lot of them were asleep. About 3 o'clock in the morning, I was sitting in a sort of like atrium area that is in the middle of this nursing home. I was sitting out there having a conversation with a couple of the residents who couldn't sleep. They were sitting out there, and I was just doing some of my work. I had some of my paperwork on my lap, and I was just conversing with them and trying to finish my work. And then I happened to look up, and I saw this very tall man, he was wearing bib overalls. And we only had, at that time, were only two men in the facility that wore overalls. So I had an idea who I thought it was. So I got up, and as I got up to go to leave the atrium area, he was walking so fast I couldn't keep up with him. Thinking, where did he go? In my mind at the time, I'm thinking he's confused. He's going around to the area where he shouldn't be, to his old room, which he can't go in there because they're doing construction. They were doing construction in the area. And so I get up to try and redirect him to the room that he's supposed to be in, and I couldn't catch up with him. It looked like he went into the laundry room, but when I went in the laundry room, I opened the door, I didn't see him. There was nobody in there. So then I went down the hall where the construction was being done, and I didn't see him there. And I saw one of the CNAs was in the room, and I told her that I had just seen this resident walk down the hall. I mean, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Where is he going? And she said she never saw him. And as I was talking to her, out of the corner of my eye, I saw him come back the other direction. So I told her, hold on, there he is. Let me see if I catch up with him. I was walking pretty fast. And as I turned to follow him the exact direction that he went to, there was no other direction. There was no other hall. He went straight down the hall where he came from, where I had originally seen him, and I went following him. When I got around there, I didn't see him. He was nowhere to be found. Well, I knew who it had to be because he was the only one that wore overalls. I thought, well, why did he put his clothes on at 3 in the morning, and where is he going? So I went to his room, and I peeked in. He was asleep. He was sound asleep. I got a little closer to him. Wasn't sweating like he had been walking fast. He wasn't breathing super hard. His breathing seemed normal to me. I checked his pulse. His pulse was unchanged. It wasn't rapid or anything like that. It just seemed like he was sleeping, and he was. And so I tried to startle him a little bit. I said his name, and he didn't even jump. He was definitely asleep. I left the room, and I just sort of did my rounds and checked on the other residents. Everybody was where they should be. Everybody was asleep. And I don't know what happened to the man in the overalls. I don't know who that was. But he wasn't someone that belonged there, at least not in the physical world. Well, the next night, I come to work, and before I could put my bags down and just kind of get clocked in and ready to start my shift, another nurse informed me that this particular resident, had passed away that afternoon. And I thought, really? She said, yeah, he passed away. And it made no sense to me. He was fine, except for the fact that I saw what I think was probably his doppelganger walking throughout the facility. And I never really truly knew who that was walking around with those overalls on. But the one of the two men that wore overalls is the one that passed away after my shift that following afternoon. I don't know what to make of that, but it's very interesting, and I thought I'd share it with you. And that is all for now. If you'd like to hear more of my ghost stories, more of my creepy stuff, please subscribe. I'm sending you love, peace, and light. Thank you.